Good day, folks. Sean here from Air Photography. So today I've got an interesting bike for you. It's by PuckiPuppy. I think that's how you pronounce that. And this is called the GoldenR, which stands for Golden Retriever. All of their bike names have canine themes. Now this is the GoldenR regular version. They do sell it in a Pro version as well, which essentially gives you an extra gear. It has 8 gears instead of 7, like the regular model does. It also has a torque sensor. Now what's really interesting about this bike, and I've never ridden a bike like this, or ridden a bike like this I should say, is that it has dual motors. As you can see, there's a motor in the back and a motor in the front. So we have a total combined power of 1600 watts. The back motor is 960 watts and the front motor is 640 watts for a combined total of 1600 watts. And that makes a huge difference. The dual motors, when engaged, give you a lot of extra torque. So if you're going to be riding on a lot of really rough terrain, up steep inclines, it's really going to help with those types of situations. You can easily switch it on and off on the fly with single motor or dual motor. And yeah, it's actually a really nice feature. And the other thing to keep in mind when you are using dual motors, you will eat up your power a little bit quicker. So you may not want to ride with it all the time, just when it's necessary. Now this bike features a 48 volt, 20 amp hour battery. The battery is built right into the frame here. It loads from the bottom and it is lockable, so you can lock it in. It's rated for 80 miles of range. Now that range is going to be very subjective depending on the rider weight, the terrain in which you're riding. If there's a lot of hills, you're going to use up more power. And it's going to depend on how much power assist you have set. But with a 20 amp hour battery, you know you're going to get a good amount of range. Now this bike has a speed rating of 28 miles per hour. Now you can achieve that when you're using the full pedal assist and you're pedaling on the bike. That's what its max rated speed is. If you're using just the throttle, it has a max speed of 20 miles per hour. And I can confirm that is accurate. On the way here, I tested just the thumb throttle and I was able to get up to 20 miles per hour. When I put it into a high gear and pedaled, I did indeed get it up to about 27. Now this bike has been engineered to be used off-road, but it is a great bike for a variety of terrains, including city streets. This is a great little commuter bike to get around town, but it's also great for situations like this. Here I'm riding on some sand and gravel, city trails, off-roading. There's a lot of different terrains that you'll be able to ride this bike on. It's a great little bike to get out and explore your city. Now the tires on it are standard. They're 26 by 4 inch. They have a fairly decent aggressive tread. Myself, I like those larger tires. I have a couple moped style bikes that have the 20-inch tires. And I do find these larger tires do give a more comfortable ride. Now, a couple really nice features of this bike is that you can see it has a nice large saddle style seat. And it is extremely comfortable, especially if you're going to be doing long rides. It's a nice padded seat, nice and wide, so it's going to give you good support. But what's really interesting is this shock here in the middle. Now, I have ridden several e-bikes over the years that have different types of shocks in the rear, but this one is super smooth. It really absorbs a lot of the bumps. On the way here, I had to go over some really rough terrain, and I was actually quite impressed at how nice and smooth that was. And that can be really important, especially if you have back issues. That can just make for a much smoother ride. And on top of that, it has some standard front shocks. A lot of these e-bikes do have them. Not all e-bikes have the center shock, so that's actually a really nice feature. And of course, these front shocks are adjustable. You can adjust them to the terrain in which you're riding or your own personal taste. You can easily switch them to whatever you need. So between the middle shock, the front shocks, and that nice comfortable seat, this is going to give you an extremely smooth, comfortable ride. Now this bike does come with a lot of accessories. It comes with a front fender and a rear fender. It even comes with a back bike rack. Now I opted not to put them on because I like the way it looks without them, but that is going to be a personal choice. I'll just show you some photos here right from the manufacturer's website with those items installed just so you can see what it looks like. But one important thing to note is that the front light here is mountable whether you have the front fender on or not. You can attach it, no problem. However, the rear light, in order to utilize the rear light, you do have to have that bike rack on. You don't have to have the fender on, but the bike rack is where the light is mounted. Now, if you opt not to put the back rack on or the fender and you still want a back light, there's lots of third-party options that you can purchase on Amazon. Things that connect to the back of your seat or the back of your helmet. Just rechargeable lights, so that keeps you nice and visible if you're riding at night. So that is just something to keep in mind. The other interesting thing is when you purchase this directly from the manufacturer's website, you get an accessory package free with the purchase, and that includes a phone mount. It includes some rear view mirrors that you can attach. It has a water bottle holder, a bike lock. It even comes with a bike cover if you're going to be storing it outside. So a nice little package. And then on top of that, they have other packages you can purchase. They have a hunting package that comes with all those accessories, plus I think a backpack, camo hat, and they also have a cargo kit. So it depends what you're going to be using the bike for. Now, over on the handlebar here is where we control the bike, the power button, the pedal assist up and down. It even has an electric horn on it. The horn is actually built into the front light, so you do have to have that light on in order to utilize the horn. Again, right below that is how we switch between single motor and dual motor, and you can switch back and forth on the fly as you need that extra power. Of course, we have a nice big screen here, a nice modern design to it, easily readable. Now, if you have polarized glasses, it will be difficult to read. And then of course we have our gear shifter here, 7-speed Shimano, and our thumb throttle over here. It does also feature hydraulic disc brakes, and hydraulic brakes are the better brake compared to mechanical brakes, which some e-bikes come with. It's going to give you better stopping power. On the side here is the key lock. That's how we can unlock the battery if we want to remove it. And then down there at the bottom is where we plug it into charge. Now, according to the manufacturer, it's suitable for riders that are 5 feet 4 inches all the way up to 6 feet 6 inches. Now, myself, I am 5'11", and it fits me perfectly. This is not a step-through bike. As you can see, we do have a bar there, so that is something to keep in mind as well. Some people like step-through bikes, other people don't. And again, according to the manufacturer, it has a payload rating of 400 pounds, so it can carry a wide variety, different sizes of riders. And you can actually get it in quite a few different colors. They have a nice gray color, a navy blue and gray, I believe it is. They have the red, which is what this one is here, red and black. They have orange, and they actually have a really nice camo version as well. So yeah, that is the PuckiPuppy GoldenR electric mountain bike. A great little bike. And this is just my first ride, so this is kind of a first impressions of the bike. I may follow up with a more in-depth review, long-term review once I've been riding it for a month or so. I'm not an e-bike expert by any means, but I have ridden quite a few over the last couple years. So I know what I like and I know what I don't like. And so far, I really, really like this bike. There was another brand that I've been riding as my staple bike for the last year and a half, but I have a feeling this one might take over. Well, folks, hopefully you enjoyed this video and found it had value. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.